They saw a black man walk into a bank and instantly judged him. What they didn't know? He owned the place, and 7 minutes later, their careers were over. In a world where appearances still define assumptions, one man walked into a bank expecting professionalism, but walked out with something far more revealing. What happened next wasn't just about one customer. It was about power, prejudice, and a lesson no one in that bank will ever forget. This isn't just a story, it's a reality check. It started like any ordinary day. A well-dressed black man stepped into a high-end downtown bank, confident, composed, and carrying nothing but a folder and a purpose. The moment he walked in, all eyes turned to him, not in admiration, but in suspicion. He approached the front desk, nodding politely to the receptionist. "I'd like to speak to the branch manager, please," he said calmly. The woman behind the desk didn't even look up at first. Then, with a half-annoyed sigh, she asked, "Do you have an appointment?" "No," he replied, "but it's important." She scanned him from head to toe. The tailored suit, the clean briefcase, the calm demeanor, and still, something in her expression said, "You don't belong here." Without checking anything, she replied coldly, "He's not available. Maybe try scheduling something online, or coming back another time." She turned her attention back to her screen like the conversation was over. But it wasn't, not even close. The man didn't argue, he simply nodded and stepped aside. As he walked toward the exit, another banker, young, suited, and clearly in a hurry, brushed past him and muttered just loud enough, "Always asking for handouts." A few other employees chuckled under their breath. None of them knew who he really was, because what they saw was just the surface, a black man in a white space. What they didn't see was the authority, the influence, and the power walking right past them. Exactly 7 minutes after he walked out, everything changed. A sleek black car pulled up in front of the bank. The same man stepped out, but this time accompanied by 2 suited assistants and a security liaison. They walked straight through the doors, past the confused receptionist, and directly into the manager's office. Confusion spread like wildfire across the lobby. The receptionist scrambled to make sense of it. The smug banker who had made the comment froze in place. Whispers rippled from desk to desk. Within moments, the branch manager appeared, pale and flustered. "Sir, I didn't know you were coming today." The man raised an eyebrow. Clearly. You see, that man wasn't just a customer. He was the CEO of the national banking chain that owned every single branch in the city, including this one. He had been conducting a secret internal review, visiting branches unannounced to observe their customer service, professionalism, and most importantly, their attitude toward clients of different backgrounds. And this branch? It had just failed. Completely. Without raising his voice, the CEO made a call on speakerphone to the regional director. Then, turning to the manager and staff, he said something that would make headlines for days. "This location no longer reflects the values of our company. Effective immediately, your employment is terminated." Gasps filled the room. The same staff who had dismissed him minutes earlier were now begging for a second chance, claiming they hadn't meant it that way and asking him to understand. But he had already understood, loud and clear. As security escorted the staff out one by one, the CEO stood in the center of the lobby. A few customers who had witnessed the entire scene clapped quietly. Others just watched in stunned silence. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He simply looked around and said, "We're rebuilding this branch, starting with respect." And just like that, he walked out, calm, unbothered, in full control. Because power doesn't need to shout. Sometimes it just shows up, takes notes, and makes moves. Sometimes karma doesn't wait for years. Sometimes it only takes 7 minutes. In that short span, judgments turned into consequences, and disrespect met undeniable power. Let this be a reminder: you never know who you're really speaking to until it's too late. What would you have done differently?